What is up, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. By the title of this, you can probably tell what it's going to be about, and I feel like it's a bit long overdue. I've been wanting to film this for a while, but have definitely just, I don't know, I just struggle sometimes like talking about my feelings, talking about my journey, and just like explaining like how I've gotten to where I am in my faith, and just, I don't know, kind of like how I started it. And I feel like, you know, it's time to share it, just because I do get a lot of people, you know, coming and wanting to talk about it, and I just want to be able to share more. But also, if anyone is wanting to like dive way more into their faith and just like don't know how and just don't know where to start, maybe this can help. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. We'll see if I just sit down and do it all now. But yeah, I'm just gonna kind of take you back a little bit and explain. So here we go. Hopefully you enjoy. If you do, please like this, give it a thumbs up. Let me know anything else you'd like to see, and I definitely would like to do more, like dive more into this topic if you want, so just let me know. Okay, so I feel like I should start off by saying that my family is Greek Orthodox, and it's pretty much like the same thing as like Catholic, Christian, whatever, like believe in the same thing. But I grew up like going to a Greek church, and yeah, and to be honest, like grew up believing in God, grew up just knowing that there was like a higher power, but I really did not like feel that connection, feel like I had any type of relationship with God. And also I just like didn't understand it. I felt like I was at a young age and I'm like, oh yeah, this is real, but I didn't like totally actually believe it was real. It was more of like yes, people say this, okay, I agree, but I couldn't like tell you that much, tell you how it meant to me, tell you how I knew it was real or he was real, if that makes sense. So I definitely was like that, honestly, until like college, that I just didn't know that much. But, you know, I always would say like, yes, I'm religious, like, yes, I believe in God, and I prayed and stuff like that, but never really felt like that was the main part of how I lived my life, I guess. It wasn't based around him, his purpose for me, and, you know. So anyways, when I got to college, well, it wasn't just like when I got to college, but I was still kind of like that in the beginning. And then once I went through my eating disorder, which was like my sophomore, junior year, I struggled a lot. And I feel like a lot of people kind of have a story like that, that they, you know, struggle a lot, especially with themselves. And they kind of find themselves through their faith and through like connecting with God more. And that kind of was what happened to me. So honestly, it was my junior year that my boyfriend got me this book, and it's called Live Fearless by Sadie Robertson. You might know who she is, but anyways, you can see that it is very marked up. So it definitely changed a lot for me. Let's just say that. But anyways, it's definitely written for someone younger, so I felt like this really was helpful for me, because there was like a lot of things that I didn't understand, and especially if I were to just like go read the Bible, I would need to dive more into it, and I didn't really know how. So this really helped me, because it had like verses in it, and kind of like explanations around it, if that makes sense, and just like kind of how it applies to you, and that, you know, throughout all of it, it's like it can apply to you in different ways. Just because it says this word for word and this is what it means doesn't necessarily mean that's like how you take it, and it's also about how you interpret it, you know? So all these different colors meant different things. So like this orange one was like different verses. The blue ones, I think, were just like like a lot of things that I highlighted, wanted to go back to. The pink ones, Honestly, I don't know how I color coordinated this, but whatever. There also was like some space in the back that you could write and like journal or just like take some notes and stuff, and so I kind of did that, and just like wrote what pages this stuff was on. But I definitely like throughout it, let's find a better page, like still wrote on it and still like highlighted things. But yeah, this was probably the first thing that I did, and I think that at the age and everything, this was perfect for me. And now, I don't know that I would go back and read this, so I was like 19, 20 then. So yeah, I think it is just for like a younger audience. I think that this really like helped me because things that she was saying about her life and what she went through and what she was going through and like how she built her relationship with God was very different than me. But just being able to like read about somebody else and read about how, you know, it's all about you and it's all about how you create that relationship and like just like how you speak to God, how you pray, how you stuff like that. I started to like really see things in my life, and I started to really see like that things weren't just like a coincidence, that things were truly put in my life, or I went through certain things, or certain things happened to me the way that they did, or people came into my life and people left it, whatever, all that. Like so many things stopped seeming coincidental and very like that's how it was meant to be. And it was just really crazy to start thinking that way, because when I started to realize that, I was just like, wow, like, I don't know, that's like sort of when my relationship started and kind of why I wanted to create more of a relationship, because I was like, this isn't just random, this is real, and these people are put into my life for a reason. And I think like this whole book, I think Dan, I think him getting it for me, like all of that was like a certain reason. And I think at that moment there was a certain reason for it. And the time that he came into my life was for a specific reason. This is okay. So like looking back on those things, so after I started reading it, I kind of started looking back on different things in my life and how things happened, and in those moments like I thought it was the end of the world, or I thought like, why do I deserve this, why is it happening to me, and more felt like a victim, and then realized that that was just preparing me for other things in my life. Especially like now thinking back to my eating disorder, like I specifically work with people who struggle with restrictive eating, and you know that was something I never thought would happen, because I was definitely very embarrassed struggling with that, and just didn't know how to go about certain things, and felt super alone and helpless about it. And I just don't think that like I would be here, I would be doing what I'm doing without that. And obviously like, you know, I'm trying to make a bigger impact. I'm trying to help as many people as I can. But for me, what really matters is like if I help one person, that's more worth it than anything, because I know what it was like being in that position, and I know what it was like, you know, just living so unhappily because of like a mindset I had, but also like around diet, exercise, all of that. So yeah, that's pretty much where it all started. And to be honest, I read that book in my junior year, and I definitely like came back and stuff to it, but I really didn't like move on from that. I got like I think it's just called the Bible. It's an app on my phone, and I would like get notifications each day and like read a verse each day, and kind of like kept up with that. But honestly, it was very like internal for me. Like I needed time to just kind of like process things and like build up my relationship, and that wasn't necessarily from going to church or like reading a lot of things. It was kind of like this gave me a lot of foundation, and I started kind of like rethinking my life and started, you know, just like talking to God more, like praying more, but also just like about everything, just telling him about everything, like my day, everything I was struggling with, and stuff like that. And so then it was probably, so that was my junior year, and then it was like a year or so out of college. I got a devotional and I started reading that each day, and that's kind of like how I've been keeping up with it. But to be honest, like I just have certain times in the day that it's just like my time with God, and that's usually in the morning when I'm reading my devotional, but always before I go to bed too. And I just kind of like have those times. And obviously like throughout the day too, like if things get hard or I just like literally don't know what to do besides, you know, sit and pray, then that's like what I'll do. But I've also realized that, you know, people I've gotten closer to like are in their faith journey as well, or like I don't know, I just feel like I have these way different connections with people sometimes because of that, and because like we believe in that, and like value something a lot more than ourselves, and just like believe that there's something higher, and that we're really here for a certain reason. And I feel like that's really gotten me closer to some people, especially Dan, but also just like other people in my life, and even like my family. So yeah, so it's definitely changed my life, especially, you know, truly diving into it and realizing, you know, like this is my relationship with him. It can look totally different from anybody else's. It doesn't have to be like, it doesn't have to be a certain way. I feel like when I was growing up, I thought like there was like a proper way to do this, and if I didn't do it, I was just like doing something wrong, or something wouldn't come out of it, or like maybe he wouldn't hear me or whatever. So that was like where I struggled a lot in the beginning and just didn't know how to go about it. And now it's more of like it's a friend, and it's like just someone I feel super close to, and you know, I can have that, I can see him, I can whatever, like the way that I want to and the way that I do, because that's just like what I believe in my heart and soul. And somebody else can think and believe in a totally different way, but it still comes together like as the same thing. And I just think it's so powerful because I don't know, if you just like have those conversations with people, I think it sits and you realize it kind of differently. But it's just really crazy to look back on things, and to look back on especially like people in my life, and realize that they were really put there for a reason. And I truly don't think that I would like literally be here if it weren't for those people, or even for those things that have happened. Because I always used to think like, oh, this happened, like I must have done something wrong for something bad to happen in my life, whether it was like personally to me, or just like somebody that I knew, or just something like that. I'm like, this had to have happened because I did something wrong. And I soon realized that it was different. It was for a purpose, and it was either to make me stronger or to help me learn something, to do something differently, or just to feel differently like in the future. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. So I'm definitely still developing that relationship, still working on it each and every day, but it's definitely something that I do live my life by, and I do believe in with literally everything. And I used to be so afraid of the future, so afraid of dying, of, you know, not leaving like a legacy. And just the more that I grow in my relationship, the less scared that I am, and the more that I feel like I am leaving a legacy, I am making an impact and doing what I'm supposed to be doing. But also it's very comforting to know that, you know, someone else has got you. Someone else, you know, has this plan for you, and it's greater than you could ever know. Because to be here, to be with who I am, to be with the people that I'm with, my family, just like everything in my life, to have thought that years ago that it was going to look like this, like I would have called you crazy. And I don't feel like it's something huge like to throw out there, but at the same time, to me, it's like the most amazing thing, and I'm just like so grateful for it all. But I know that like there's so much more to come, and there's always a bigger plan. So yeah, and that's crazy to say because honestly, like years ago, I would have never thought that. I would have never really had faith in the journey and really trusted it. So yes, I've definitely changed a lot, and hopefully maybe you can like relate to some of that, because it is a struggle sometimes, especially when things are unknown. But I think when you do develop that relationship, you realize what is really actually known, and that is just him and his plan. So just like always trying to focus my mind back on that has really helped me, especially when I'm struggling. But yeah, that's kind of like what I've kind of gone through, where I'm kind of at, and where I want to go. I honestly just want to keep developing the relationship. But in all honesty, like it's my relationship, and it's gonna be how like I want it to be and how I see it, if that makes sense. So I think we all just like have those differences. But yeah, I don't know. Hopefully that was helpful. If you want me to, dive deeper into anything, I would love to. Like, there are definitely certain struggles that I've had that like after the fact I really realized like the reason and what it was for, and I don't think we usually realize that or can see it till after. But you realize that it was because of him and his plan. So yeah, like I would definitely love to dive deeper into other things. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope it was kind of interesting and maybe like something you were looking forward to watching. But let me know anything else would like to see. And I hope you guys have a great day whenever you're watching this. And I'll see you guys in the next one.